What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So, a few weeks ago, I actually purchased an engagement ring. And just to get ahead of anyone in the comment section, no, I am not 12 years old. But obviously, purchasing an engagement ring is a pretty large financial decision that many of you may have to face one day. So, since I learned a lot from this entire process, today I thought I'd share with you some of my top tips on how to budget for a ring, pick out the perfect ring, and most importantly, get the best deal possible without compromising on quality. So whether you are currently looking for an engagement ring, maybe this is something that you think you'll have to do in the future, or you're just curious about my experience, let's jump right into it. Alright, so first of all, I just want to make it very clear that this is a finance channel and I'm specifically going to be talking about the financial side of this large purchase. And while I may be talking about diamonds here and there, I am by no means an expert on diamonds, but I do feel like I've learned a lot about this topic throughout this process, and I just wanted to put that out there so that we are all on the same page. So the first thing you have got to do when looking for an engagement ring, and my first tip to you, is to set a budget. Regardless of how much you plan on spending, this is an important financial decision, and just like any other large purchase, such as a car or a house, you absolutely must have a budget, even if this isn't as large of a purchase as something like a car or a house. So first of all, let's answer the age-old question of how much should you spend? Well, unfortunately, that is a personal question that you are going to have to answer, but I will tell you this, the average amount spent on an engagement ring here in the US is right around $6,000. And also, that whole rule about spending 2 months' salary is absolutely not a rule. It's literally just a line from an old De Beers commercial about making 2 months' salary last forever.
The diamond engagement ring. How else could 2 months' salary last forever?
And for some reason that caught on and is now the token rule of how much you should spend, but that is complete nonsense, and if you don't feel comfortable spending that much, then don't. And if you feel comfortable spending more than that, then go for it. But my suggestion to you is to decide on a number that you are comfortable spending before you ever even go look at a diamond or a ring. Because oftentimes what ends up happening is you start to like a certain size or quality of diamond, or even maybe a particular ring that is out of your budget, and you start bending your budget in order to fit what you want, rather than bending what you want in order to fit your budget, if that makes sense. Again, this is probably a large purchase, and anytime you are going to put money into something, whether that's a car, a house, a stock, or a diamond, you want to be knowledgeable about that thing. You probably spent a lot of time researching the right car or getting a Carfax before you purchased a vehicle, and you take a tour of a house and get it fully inspected before you make an offer usually. So why should this be any different? Now again, I am not a diamond expert, but here is a really quick crash course on what I learned that will hopefully help you get the best deal possible on a diamond. So you may already know this, but diamonds basically come down to what's called the 4 C's, which is cut, clarity, color, and carat. And these are the 4 variables that we're going to play with in order to fit the ring to your budget rather than fitting your budget to the ring. So the first C is cut, and basically this is just a grade of how optimal the angles are and how well it reflects light, and typically diamond experts will tell you that the cut is very important when it comes to how good the diamond is going to look. Now I will also mention here that cut also refers to the literal shape of the diamond, such as princess cut or round cut, but this is simply a preference and has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the diamond itself. Moving on from there, we have the second C, which is clarity, and this one is a measure of how clear the diamond is, starting with F or flawless and going down to I or included. Now, little black specks in your diamond is obviously not a good thing, but for the upper 70% of this scale, you literally can't see anything unless you have 10 times magnification, so don't worry about this one too much, and if you are over on your budget, then this is probably the first grade that you'll want to play with in order to lower the price. The third C is color, and this one is a measure of how yellow the diamond is basically, meaning if it's a D color, it's the least yellow, and if it is a Z color, it is the most yellow. Now, you might think that D is the best because it's at the top end of the scale and it's the most expensive, but I thought the same thing, and while most people don't want a complete yellow diamond, some people do actually prefer some color, and even getting into the F or G range is almost indistinguishable to the untrained eye unless it is directly next to a D colored diamond. So again, don't stress stress about this one too much. As long as you are towards the top end of that range, you're going to be just fine, and this is another metric that you can play around with in order to fit your budget. And lastly, of course, we have the most important C when it comes to buying diamonds, and that would be carat, which is how big is the diamond. And obviously, this one is going to have a significant impact on the price. Now, a majority of center stones on an engagement ring are between 1 and 1.5 carats, but again, find a diamond that fits your budget and play around with some of those other grades and metrics that we just talked about in order to fit your budget. But please do not go buy a gigantic diamond just because you want to flex if you can't actually afford it, because that is definitely no good way to start off the finances of your marriage. All right, so with that crash course in diamonds out of the way, how in the world can you get the best deal possible? Well, other than playing around with those other metrics that we just talked about in order to lower the price and fit your budget, the number one tip that I have for you that if nothing else I want you to take from this video is please do not buy a diamond or engagement ring for that matter from a big box jewelry store. Yes, I'm talking about Kay Jewelers or Zales or Jared, and I'm sorry if I have to be the first one to tell you this, but if he went to Jared, then he probably paid way too much and got ripped off. The fact is, companies like this spend millions and millions of dollars every single year on advertising and have a nationwide presence, and those buildings aren't free. And as a result, they often charge double or more above what you could get online. To prove my point, here is a 1.02 carat diamond that has a D color, VVS1 clarity, and ideal cut, and this diamond is listed for $23,760 at Kay Jewelers. And you might say, well, that's a flawless diamond with a very high clarity and perfect color, yet here is the exact same diamond, same color, clarity, cut, and carat, listed for just $8,150 on JamesAllen.com. That's an increase of nearly 200%, all because Kay Jewelers spends a lot of money on advertising, has to maintain a ton of infrastructure, and knows that they can charge that much because they have a reputable brand that people are comfortable buying from. But I hope this shows you that these big box jewelry stores are literally the worst place possible to buy an engagement ring or just jewelry in general if you care at all about not getting ripped off. So again, if you take nothing else from this video, please do not buy your engagement ring from one of these big box jewelry stores. Okay, so with that out of the way, where are you supposed to buy your diamond to get a good deal? Well, the logical next place that people go to that has boomed in popularity in recent years is online places like Blue Nile or James Allen. And these are both fantastic places and very reputable companies that will allow you to purchase your diamond and ring together and look at it in more detail than you'd probably be able to see with the naked eye at a store. And while both of these are great sites that you can probably get a good deal from, that's actually not where I purchased my diamond ring, and I actually got an even better deal than what James Allen or Blue Nile could offer. Now, you may have seen ads for this company, but I actually bought my diamond engagement ring through a website called Rare Carat, which is very similar to Travelocity or Kayak in the sense that they pull together prices from hundreds of different websites in order to ensure that you are getting the best price possible without you having to spend hours and hours scanning all of these different websites and comparing prices. Now, this is by no means an advertisement or sponsorship for Rare Carat, but I will tell you that personally, if you are in the market for an engagement ring, then there is literally no better place to buy with confidence and get a great deal than Rare Carat. And again, they are not paying me to say that. I am just so happy with the ring that I was able to get and the price that I paid for that diamond. So regardless of where you decide to buy your ring from, one last thing that I do want to mention if you are on a really tight budget is it doesn't necessarily have to be a diamond. Now, obviously, this is a debatable territory and something that you absolutely should discuss with your significant other first, because a diamond ring might be really important to them. But there are tons of alternatives such as sapphire, moissanite, and even lab-grown diamonds that can give you a nearly identical look for a fraction of the price. So again, I would only explore that avenue if you are on a very tight budget and your significant other doesn't really care whether it's a diamond or not, but this is just another option that I wanted to put out there if you do fall into that category. But at the end of the day, please just remember that the most important thing when it comes to buying your engagement ring is that you are not bringing any level of financial stress or poor financial decision making into your new marriage. We all know that disagreements about money is one of the leading causes of divorce, and the last thing you want to do is spend way too much on a ring with money that could have been used for much better things like paying off debt, saving for a house, putting it towards an awesome, memorable a wedding or even towards your honeymoon. Maybe this is just me, but it's really the meaning behind the ring and what it signifies that's important rather than the size of the diamond. So whether it's a 1/4 of a carat or 10 carats, hopefully the answer from your significant other is probably going to be the same thing. And if they say no just because the diamond is too small, then you've probably got some other conversations to have. But anyways, I hope this video did give you some tips on how you can get the best deal possible on your engagement ring. So as always, if you did enjoy this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would get value out of this content as well. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and to anyone who cares, hopefully by the time you're watching this, she said yes, and if she didn't, then that's really awkward, and I'll probably just cut this part out. Wish me luck.